Hey everybody, Grant here, introducing a video on Kumbhaka, the Sanskrit word that describes the breath retention process. And so this video today is going to share some insight as to what Kumbhaka is and does, and also how to integrate this into your practice. And so I'll just get started and I'll share, for those of you who are practicing with me regularly, you'll know that this is a huge part of what we do in our pranayama, that we're training for the Kumbhaka, that we're doing particular breathing exercises such as the double breathing kriya, Kapalabhati kriya. Eventually we get to Bhastrika kriya. These are traditional forms of pranayamas and purification exercises from the Hatha Yoga tradition that assist the practitioner in getting to a place that they can then suspend the breath. And so there's two types of breath suspension, and that is what a Kumbhaka is, as a reminder. Kumbhaka is a breath suspension or a breath retention, meaning the breath is no longer inhaling or exhaling. And now there's two types of Kumbhaka. There's a antar Kumbhaka, where we inhale and then we hold the breath in. That's called antar Kumbhaka. And exhale, and at the end of the exhale we hold the breath out. That's called bahir or bahya Kumbhaka. And there's a third type of Kumbhaka. I almost didn't mention this. Which is the spontaneous cessation of breathing. And this happens when a practitioner's breath gets so subtle and their consciousness gets so subtle because of the energy of the senses getting withdrawn inward. So when the mind is no longer so active because of being engaged in the external world, this is pratyahara, the senses get withdrawn inward, and so that energy is no longer consumed by the brain. And when that happens, there's a containment effect, there's a container, and the prana then ends up staying in its source. So the shakti stills, the manas, the mind stills. And so this is the process that we are talking about when it comes to breath retention. The point of breath retention being to still the mind. And when we engage in a Kumbhaka, either in or out, this causes the mind waves to slow down and eventually reach a standstill. Now, the key point, the last thing I'll mention, is it's sort of like wind in a turbine. And so when we hold the breath, the breath being the wind passing the turbine and causing the thoughts to move and to be activated. And when this happens, eventually, when we hold the breath, the wind stops, but the turbine can continue to move until all of the residual thoughts and the tensions and the psychic residue gets sort of complete. And then at that point, the turbine remains still. And so in our practices, we use Kumbhaka and we use the kriyas and the pranayama exercises to prepare us to sustain longer and higher quality Kumbhakas, which will then rearrange our mind by unplugging the habitual thoughts and patterns, patternistic ways of thinking that keep us in certain loops. So that's the point of the Kumbhaka, and in a future video I will discuss how to actually practice this. But if you're already doing things like the double breathing kriya, then you will know that this is a big part of that practice. So I hope this is helpful for you guys, for your practice at home, and for when you come and visit me in the live sessions. And remember that you have the ability to join me live. I now have a Patreon account, which I'll drop the link below. And so you can subscribe and become a member and join me for the weekly live streams that I'll be doing there. So much love to you guys. Thank you all so much for your support. And be sure to like and comment and shoot me a message if there's anything you need in the meantime. Anything you need support with your practice, and I'm happy to create additional videos to support you guys. All right, see you for the next video or live. Peace.